A very good morning to you. We want to thank you so much for keeping it Y254 on this fantastic Wednesday morning. Welcome to another edition of Hello Day with me, Shiko Kaitani. I am taking over from Kalami Val, Hilda Wadhivi and Mr. Barry Moses. We sure hope that you have enjoyed your Queen's Wednesday so far. That SMS number yet again is 22162. Please begin your text message with YM254 if you'd like to contribute to our ongoing discussions. If you do want to get in touch with us on our social media pages, well, we are Y254 TV on Instagram and Facebook and Y254 channel on Twitter. Now, every Wednesday, rather, here on Hello Day, we definitely like to give you the tools and the tips to live your best life. And today on Good Living, we discuss depression. Now, it's a very common condition, but depression isn't to be taken lightly, as it is a serious mood disorder that can drive an individual to extremes such as suicide. And so joining me today on set to help us understand more about this condition and most importantly how we can receive help if we need it is Pauline Machio, who is a counseling psychologist at Mpisha. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Kaitani.
Okay, all right, so Pauline, let's start off by how would you describe depression and what exactly are the symptoms?
Yeah, depression is a mood disorder,
yeah,
or affective disorder, where typically one feels sad and there's this increased sense of feeling worthlessness, there's helplessness and hopelessness. For you to be able to know that this goes on actually virtually every single day, or most of the time goes on for about 2 weeks and above, then you can be able to say somebody is going into depression. Some of the symptoms where you can be able to know that one is depressed is it will start from the mood actually.
Yeah. Mostly
people are angered, agitated, sometimes defensive, and also the energy levels go down.
Yeah.
Something that somebody used to like doing, they are not interested anymore in what they used to enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the appetite also is distorted, where you find that there's low appetite or high appetite, because there's increased appetite or low appetite. So there's weight gain or loss gain, depending on appetite levels.
Yeah.
You'll also get there's the issue of sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep pattern is also disturbed. They either lack of sleep, which you call insomnia, or there's excessively sleep, where we call hyperinsomnia.
Yes.
So also there's the issue of we call it psychomotor retardation, where everything you do, even when you are talking, it is slow. Even when you are doing your activities, the rate is slow. Actions are slow. And then we also have these suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
Eventually somebody has what we call suicidal thoughts, where you find that you are pessimistic about everything you do. You look at your past, you look at your future, your present, and even your future, and then you lose hope. Then you get that sense of hopelessness, the one I talked about it.
Okay.
So for these symptoms, for you to say that you are getting into depression, these symptoms must cause what we call clinical significance.
Yes.
In areas to do with the social life, occupation, and even sometimes they impair some of our functions, our daily living functions.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. I like that. You've given a very detailed description as to what it is. But, you know, depression can actually be an indication, by the way, Pauline, of deep-rooted things. And from dealing with young people, because I always say when you've got a group which is probably 15 to, let's say, 25, very difficult period in one's life, because someone is actually discovering who they are, they don't really know themselves, and the environment kind of influences who they are. What are some of the challenges that young people face that can actually cause them to be depressed that you have come across as a practicing counselor?
Okay, what I would start with, I would say that the youth of today, according to World Health Organization, we classify youth at the age of between 15 to 34. Then the Ministry of Health in Kenya, of Youth Affairs, sorry, in Kenya, is between 15 and 35. So you see there's not much difference.
Yes.
This is a time in our life where we call the youth is a life between childhood and adulthood. Yeah. So you are in between there. You're still transiting. Yeah. So there are challenges in this age bracket. And so the youth, what affects mostly the youth for them to go into what you call depression, some of the causes could be, I would start with low self-esteem. Esteem actually is low self-esteem, it means is self-hate. Yeah. And then when we talk about high self-esteem, we are talking about your self-confidence, how you feel self-worth. Yeah. And sometimes most of these issues of low self-esteem start when people are young. Yeah. So when our pasts are not taken care of in terms of developmental stages, you get people go into what we call issues of self-esteem. Yeah. For the young people, maybe you lose a parent when you are still young. Issues of divorce, which are high. Yeah. Separation in the Kenyan scenario. So these people find that, according to the society, that your family is broken. So they are not appreciated. So that affects them when they are growing. Yes. There are issues to do with school related. You will find performance in school. Yeah. We as parents, sometimes we expect too much from our children. That's so true. So if we don't perform according to our expectation, then we put for them unrealistic demands. Yeah. This also affects them, their esteem. So if it's not well addressed, they also sink into what you call depression. Yeah. And then we also have the issues of early child pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. Also, it's also on the high. Wow. So they are left behind. So they look at their peers, maybe the ones they were with in school. Yeah. They've gone ahead with their careers and they've been left behind. Oh yes, and it sometimes really can, and sometimes for the African society, sometimes getting pregnant at an early stage might just be the end of your career. Yeah. Unless those parents who are enlightened and encourage their children and tell them that they can still go on. This is not the end of life. Yeah. It's just a setback, but you can still go on. Yeah. But most of the time, like the rural areas, you'll find that is the end of your academic career and that kind of thing. Yeah. Then you also get there are issues where relationship issues are also high. Because according to, I'll quote an author called Erik Erikson. Yeah. He talks about psychosocial stages in life. So this teenage, the ones I've talked about, between 15 and 35, this is the time, this stage is where we have what we call identity, crisis and role confusion. Yeah. Intimacy and isolation. They're also trying to develop careers. They're trying to get partners for life. The teenagers, of course, for the teenagers, they're getting what we have: physical changes, emotional changes, and also social changes. So this is the time when we say there are these issues, factors we call psychosocial issues. There's so much at work. Yeah. We are looking at your peers, there's the social media, there's these developmental issues. Yeah, and by the way, social media can really play a huge part in this, by the way, because you actually feel like you're not fitting in and everybody always posts just the good stuff on social media. I don't think there's, you hardly ever find anyone talking about their terrible days as such. So it can get to you. It can really get to you. Yeah, it can get to you, especially developmental wise. Yeah. Some of the issues that cause them to be depressed is you look at role models. Yeah. Maybe I would want to be like so and so. Yeah. So in terms of your image, it is already affected. So you look at your image and you do not appreciate your image. So once you have issues with your image, it goes back to your esteem. So it will also affect your esteem. Okay. All right. From your cases that you've come across, of course, as a counselor, tell us a little bit about
suicidal thoughts, which are definitely linked to depression. And you know, what young people express to you, what they share with you generally.
Generally, from the young people, especially those who have finished their career education, you'll get they're talking about unemployment, which is a problem in the Kenyan scenario today, we know. So once they've left the education sector, and they are hoping to get something to do, and they're not getting it. So you'll get most of them will go into even issues like drug. They start getting it drug because they're idle. So they'll get comfort there in issues to do with drugs, alcohol, which is not only affecting the young. Actually, it's even across board. Actually, alcoholism is such a big thing in Kenya, because we are dealing with from even people who are learned. So they'll get into that, and they'll get illicit brew, the one that is cheap. They'll because they're idle, and we know even the Bible said an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
That's true.
So most of them, they'll talk about employment. Most of them will tell you nobody appreciates, especially dysfunctional homes, where we get and we're busy parents. Nowadays parents are very busy. Most of them are busy trying to balance between career also and work, because most parents nowadays are going to school also. So they do not have time for their children, just to talk to them, find out how they are doing. Then people are not there to listen to the youth. What the youth want is they want somebody who is empathetic, who is able to listen to them, somebody who is genuine and non-judgmental. So it becomes very easy, and this one you can only get through a professional counselor. So it is good to seek a professional counselor, somebody you think you can confide some of your worries, your thoughts, and to them. So
Pauline, I really like you because you know you're speaking just like a counselor, very soft, very mellow, I mean very trusting. I'm very sure that young people can definitely confide in you, Pauline. But that being said, I don't know if my director is ready, because we actually do have a couple of celebrities that did commit suicide, by the way, and mostly due to depression. And it's so sad, because you would think that with all the money, with all the fame, with everything that they've got, they would actually be content. I don't know if you know, that's one of the things that you actually see, that money isn't everything. You know, material things aren't everything, and so a lot of them still turn to suicide, you know. For example, we've got the likes of actor Robin Williams, who hanged himself. We also do have Alexander McQueen, who is a fashion, or rather was a fashion designer, absolutely amazing guy, killed himself a week after his mother died by ingesting a cocktail of prescription meds and cocaine, and then hanged himself. We also do have the likes of Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, who killed himself via hanging at the age of 41. He died in July last year. I'm pretty sure you actually remember that, and was pretty sad. What an amazing guy, and so talented. And of course, just recently, the world was definitely terrified, sad, shocked to hear about Avicii's death, the 28-year-old DJ who actually used glass to cut himself, and of course, that happened in April this very same year. It was quite sad. And, you know, Pauline, these are all just stories about depression. And, you know, a lot of young people can definitely relate to this, because they've got so much going on and they don't know how to handle. And one of the other examples that I actually want to bring up is Tusker Project fame TPF 5 winner Ruth Matete, who actually opened up on Instagram, and she talks about this phase in her lifetime, and you know, that really frustrated her. And this is, if you actually check out her Instagram page, you can actually see what she says. And let me quote her. She says, I'm sure we all have that one time in our lives when things were so bad we can't compare it with any other time in our lives. I have such a year, and I remember how everything was not working for me. Thought of taking my life to end all the pain and misery, and to some point I actually tried, but I wasn't successful at it because of God. Finances were not working, relationship was not working, some main friendships ended, Ministry was not working, and I thought to myself, am I of any value to this world? Wow. What do you think about that, Pauline?
Yeah, we call it accumulated stressors.
Yeah.
When stress is also accumulated.
Yeah.
Because we have these daily stresses. We talk stress is we divide it into like 3.
Yeah.
I would say we have the daily hassles, the traffic jam. You are a mother, a father trying to juggle between here and there. And then we have cumulative stresses. Cumulative stresses also is when there's so many things happening into your life. This one comes, you're sweeping it under the carpet. This one comes, you're sweeping it under. You're not handling it in a more positive way.
Yeah.
So eventually it gets accumulated, and then, you know, stress is also one of the causes of depression. Yeah. So you'll find if these stresses are not addressed amicably, then it will cause depression. Yeah. Also, and then we also have what you call the critical incident stresses. These are stresses that happen quite suddenly and unexpectedly. So you'll find how we also handle these sudden stresses could also make one go into depression, especially when it comes to death and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So what I would say, despite all this fame, what people lack sometimes in life is what we call emotional support. Yeah. Somebody just to talk to them, just somebody to hear them out. Yeah. Despite your successes, what are these other challenges that you go through? Yeah. So it doesn't mean when you just look at somebody and you think they are doing well, that is it. There's more to
There's
that.
More to the person.
You can only know that by listening to them and being genuine the way I'd said. Yeah. Empathize with them. Do not be judgmental. Yeah. And then they can be able to open up some of the things that they think they are going through. Yeah,
it's funny. In fact, it's actually ironic that in this day and age, when we're so connected, we've got all these tools and gadgets to keep us connected, but we are farther and farther away from each other. You know, people go on dates, people hang out with each other, people are having dinner, family time, and instead of actually talking to your siblings or your parents, everybody's just like this. You know, we're all on Facebook, we're all on, you know. So despite we have all these things linking us together, we have never been so detached from each other like before, you know. Yes. So I also want to bring up the issue, by the way, about self-confidence yet again, okay? Yes. And tell us about these negative thoughts that even as a young person you can have about yourself. You may think you're not good enough, you're fat, you're this, you know, you're not smart enough, or, you know, you're just not good looking, you're not handsome or pretty enough, and how that can actually manifest into depression.
Now, what we say, in life, we all have what we call strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So sometimes we focus so much on our weaknesses, and then we forget that we also have strengths. Yeah. So we always tell the young people, look at this that makes you who you are. Yeah. Look at your strength in terms of academics, good heart, a good mind. If it is a good physical appearance. Yeah. Appreciate what you have, rather than concentrating on what you do not have. Yeah. If you have a good hobby also, just concentrate on its talent also. Yeah. So that you don't feel that because there's nobody who will cheat you that they have what it takes, all of it. Yeah. Because of the strengths and weaknesses we have in life. Yes. But we focus on what we encourage them to be positive about what the good things they have. Okay. Instead of focusing on their weaknesses. Okay. Because when you keep thinking about yourself, I think I'm looking at so and so, I'm not as pretty or handsome as so and so. Yeah. Of course, in life, we are different. Yes. There will always be somebody smarter than you. But that's so true. There will always be somebody brighter than you. Yeah. There will always be somebody richer than you. There will always be somebody, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we say, run your race. Yes. Focus and run. And this comparisons will kill us. Comparisons will kill you. Yeah. So learn to run your race. Yeah. Get focused. Because when you look on your left, so and so is doing well. When you look on your right, so and so is smarter. So where am I left?
Exactly.
Put your hands together and run your race.
That's
that's
I
what
like
we
that.
say.
I like that. Amen. Can I high five you to that? Woo! Thank you. Okay, so I know, by the way, cultural issues come in play when it comes to dealing with a patient who, you know, is suffering from depression. It's very un-African to be depressed. I mean, you know, when you speak to people just generally, they tell you, sasa hiyo ni shida gani ati uko depressed. And, you know, we have bigger issues on the continent of Africa. There's hunger, there's poverty, there's all these things that we're facing. Depression looks like such a mild thing to Africans.
Actually, mental health issues have not been taken seriously. Actually, in the African society, I would say, culturally, when somebody says maybe you are depressed, or these other medical conditions, mental health conditions, they'll look at you and think you are bewitched. Culturally. When you go to spiritually, they'll tell you this one must be having a spell cast, spell on her or him. And then when you go to society, they'll say, this is an outcast. So issue to do with mental health has not been taken seriously. As it should be. People concentrate mostly on physical. I have malaria, I have typhoid, but they don't really focus on mental health. And I would want to tell the public that health is not just a matter of physical. Nowadays we look at health as a total well-being of a human being. We look at your physical, we look at your spiritual, we look at your psychological, we look at your mental, your socioeconomic status, your emotional issues. Then in totality, and then we call it a state of health. It is not just about physical. I have malaria and that's it. Because there are so many other psychosocial issues that are there in the society
and
today.
We just sweep it under the rug.
Sweep it under the carpet, thinking, well done. But some of these issues are the ones that are causing all these frustrations in our lives today.
True. And you know, it's sad because it seems like this set of people are marginalized, those who are dealing with mental issues, because there's not so much advocacy that goes behind mental health. You know, as the way we see about AIDS, we see about cancer, we see about diabetes, you know, there's hardly enough talk around mental health, right? Long time before there was a model that used to be used about health, but the current model, we call it the biopsychosocial model, where we are not only looking at the physical, the way I said, we are looking at health in totality, from mental, psychological, family issues, because all these contribute to what we call health. By you being free from malaria doesn't mean you are healthy. You could be having psychosocial, some other issues. Very true. You're dealing with. All right. I've just been alerted that we've got a few text messages that have come in, Pauline. And remember that SMS number is 22162. Please begin your text message with the words YM254. We do have Eric Inyeri who says, thank you so much for the discussion. And he goes on to call you Daktari and says, is depression hereditary if it's been in one's family history? That's a very good question.
There's a predisposing factor because there are some factors that contribute. We have predisposing factors. History of depression in a family could one could be predisposed. Be predisposed. There are also triggering factors that also cause depression. So it could be also be hereditary. All right, we've also got one here from Sheila in Kitale. Thank you so much. We're happy to know that you're keeping it Y254. And she goes on to say, Pauline, I have a friend who got depressed after having her baby. What can I do to help? And I'm assuming she's talking about postpartum depression. That's one of the types of depression. Postpartum depression is there because sometimes pregnancy is not as easy as we may think, or having a baby. I was just listening to the radio station when I was coming to this place, and somebody was saying, the youth are saying becoming pregnant is more serious than even getting STIs and all that. So I was wondering, what is this that they're talking about? So you can see pregnancy itself is not something easy, especially when you are not prepared for the pregnancy, because you have to be emotionally prepared, because pregnancy takes most of your time. You have to be prepared finances, because of in terms of finances, because of delivery issue, where you're going to deliver, even taking care of a child. So what we usually say, if somebody is not prepared for a pregnancy, sometimes it will spill, even after delivery, it will spill to what we call postpartum depression, because they are not ready for the pregnancy. Then the issue of social support. Issue of social support is very important. Even if you get teenage pregnancy, or you are in marriage and you get a pregnancy, you become pregnant, it is it's very good for you to what you call social support. Social support, it means in terms of information, you get proper information from professionals, and then somebody who can also work with you emotionally. And if need be, also we can also provide material, because sometimes in terms of money, in terms of the way you can donate clothes to people. So if you don't have that social support, sometimes it could lead to that, because you just feel you are alone, nobody's there even just to talk to. So it's one of the common causes of depression, especially when you're not prepared for the pregnancy.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that. And then finally, this will be our last question that we'll sample. It's coming from Kawera right here in Nairobi, who says, following the death of my mom, my baby sister can't cope with the loss, and we consider her depressed, and she was extremely attached to our mother. Can one mourn in a healthy way, and how long is one required to mourn before it is considered toxic? Thank you so much for that, Kawera, and you know, our sincere condolences following the death of your mom. What can you say about that?
Loss and grief is also one of the causes of depression. When we lose loved ones, okay, I would say loss, we don't just look at loss like loved ones. We look at loss of a relationship. It's also painful. We also look at loss of property. We look at loss now in terms of our loved ones. So we go through what you call a process of loss and grief. So by the time, we usually say it is a process. By the time, most of the time when we get bad news, when we lose our loved ones, there's this emotional connection that we had with the loved ones. Then we look at our loved ones like they've left a big gap in our life. We are not sure what will happen tomorrow, especially if it was a parent. So the children tend to wonder, will I continue with school? Will I drop out?
Who will take care of me?
Who will take care of me? How will be my future? So this is the time they need a lot of support. But to say also, we mourn differently. There's no way we would say that there are standard ways of mourning. Some people will keep quiet. Some people will talk about it. Some will just cry. But we say when it's prolonged, then it becomes pathological. That is the time. Then when it becomes pathological, then we need to seek medical attention. Because now signs of depressions have already set in. So we advocate that when you look at it and you see that this person has gotten what we call signs of depressions, and that as I'd already talked about it, then it's good to seek medical attention. Where where psychiatric will be called in. We'll put the patient on antidepressant. Then once the patient or the client comes out of the depression and they're able to talk more about it, then we work together, the psychiatrist and the psychologist. So we work together with the client. That's what usually happens. I know we don't have too much time, Pauline, so let me just run maybe two questions your way before we say kwaheri. I think one of the biggest questions that we can all ask ourselves is, how do we help someone who's depressed? How do we spot that? How do I know my colleague, my friend, my workmate, or whoever in my family member is, you know, depressed? What are some of the signs that, you know, someone can look out for? And then again, how can we help? The signs of depression I'd already mentioned before, because we all know our friends, our buddies. We will always know how they are behaving. Even for a family member, you will look at your sister or your relative, and will see there are some changes that I'm seeing that's happening. And looking at the signs I talked about, you'll be able to know that maybe this person is going to depression. Some of them will even talk about it and tell you, I think I'm feeling depressed. And I think life is meaningless. So when you hear people talking about such like things, you know this one is going into depression, because they'll talk about it, and they might even have those suicidal thoughts. So it's a high time when they talk about it. You have to be very careful and take it seriously. Because if you don't ignore that, in fact, even when we are doing counseling to the patients, we have what we call issues of confidentiality. But there's a time we breach confidentiality, especially when the clients think they are going to harm themselves. Because you have to alert the parent if it is
to monitor
if it is a child. And if it's a spouse, we tell the other spouse that your husband or your wife is planning to do this. That is the time we breach the issues of confidentiality. There's a time we have to breach, because if we don't act on that, then at the end of the day, when the person commits suicide, it is going to be painful for all of us.
As is very true. It's not worth losing the person. Okay, so how can generally one cultivate a positive mind, a healthy mind going forward? And then in case there are those who are watching who may want to get in touch with you directly and get help or advice on how to go about this particular condition, maybe you can tell us. But what can we do to just stay positive as human beings?
To stay positive, we say having a positive attitude. Attitude is composed of three components. For those who do not know, attitude is all about, we call it ABC. That is your affect, how you feel towards life and everything. Your behavior and your cognitions. Cognition is your thought. So it's good to have positive thoughts all the time. Of course, we are human beings, but sometimes the more positive vibes you have, the more better for you.
Absolutely.
And then we also cultivate what we call a positive lifestyle. Please, when you feel that you are low, do not engage in alcohol. Alcohol kills, but not when you do not take alcohol, it will not kill you. It will kill you. Alcohol will kill you. Engaging in so eat well, think positively. Associate with friends who have positive mindsets, because sometimes even the kind of friends we have, because we say friends of people of the same feather flock together. So what we say, it's good to associate with people who will help you see your potential, help you grow your potential, rather than put you down. So even the kind of friends you have fun also, take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you really have to take care of yourself. Just the way in the hospital setup, we ask, who takes care of the caregiver? It is yourself.
That's true.
So you also have to take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. And if they do want to get in touch with you, how can we get in touch with you, Pauline?
If you want to get in touch with me, I'm based at the MP Hospital Counseling Department. My number is 0746 9211. And at the MP Hospital, we also run a psychiatric clinic every Wednesdays. For the counseling services, we run the counseling services Monday to Saturday, 8 to 5. So you can always pop there and you'll be attended to.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.